Virgos, welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. This reading is going to be a message from the cards, and we are going to be getting 3 specific messages. One is something that the cards want to show you and tell you about that you're doing really great around, kind of a keep up the good work type of thing. And then we'll look at something that maybe you need a little bit of insight and guidance around, a little help around. And then the third thing that we will look at is something upcoming that they want to give you a glimpse into. And I imagine this like very near future, within the next, week to 3 weeks type of thing. So something very soon coming up to kind of keep an eye out for. So we've got 4 piles to choose from. Pile 1, we have the Father with a kind of a more green colored turquoise stone. Pile 2 is the Vision with Malachite. Pile 3 is the Threshold with a more true turquoise stone. And then pile 4, we've got the Unseen with an Aqua Calcite. Okay. So while these cards will be incorporated into some area of your reading, there's a whole lot more, so don't get fixated on the title or the card. It's only for one of the categories, and other cards will be coming out, so it could drastically change what you may assume that might lead to. So don't get fixated on like, oh, well, I want the Vision, like what's drawing you in. Maybe look at the colors or the stone, or just a sense of being kind of drawn into a pile for some inexplicable reason. So if you need time with these to feel which pile is drawing you in, you can pause here. And this is definitely a reading where if you feel more than one pile drawing you in, that is totally acceptable too. You may have, just several messages coming through for you with this reading. All right, when you are ready, go to the timestamps in the descriptions, and I will see you in your piles. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, some messages from the cards. So we are going to start with sort of a pep talk with the cards showing you something it wants to tell you about that you're doing really great around, giving you some insight into that and how to keep going with it. So your first card is the Father. And I want you to step away from like genderizing father, even though like traditionally that would be more of like a male archetype. In our modern world, any gender could really step into what this archetype is about, which is about within sort of like a family unit, the figure, the archetype that's creating some sort of structure, some sort of support in terms of bringing in the breadwinner, creating sort of firmness and focus and discipline into things. I also think of the planet Saturn with this, so like career could come in here, mastery, excellence, your position in the world. If like you don't feel like there's something to be recognized around like your role in a family, it might be more of that Saturn element of just like your worldly position, something that you have dedicated to and are building mastery in. So whichever way that resonates for you, whether it's, kind of being a breadwinner and creating support, and structure and discipline in a family unit, or just generally out in the world holding a position with great focus and dedication and responsibility. So something you're doing around this, it's, the cards want to communicate that you're doing this really, really well. So let's get a few more messages about this in particular. courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So this may be, at least lately, something that you've sort of had to push yourself in. Maybe you've been reaching for like a promotion or a new job, or where you've shouldered a lot of responsibility within your family, and it's really asked you to kind of step up the plate and push yourself, and really kind of step into a leadership role in general. Yeah, the cards are wanting to say you're doing this really well. Like, yeah, hang in there. Definitely you've got this. Like, you're doing a great job. Okay, let's get another card with Ascendant. This is something that is really giving you a lot of character. So whether or not this is like a new kind of sensation to you, or a new sort of role you really feel like you're filling in your life, it's something like allowing yourself to shoulder responsibilities and dedication to things, and really reaching, aspiring in life with a lot of courage, is something that is building a lot of character in you, and really molding even your personality as something that is much more reliable than maybe it previously had been. Yeah, so like, great job. You're really molding yourself with a lot of character and a lot of strength and a lot of heart. Okay, let's do, let's see, planet. What planet wants to speak to this? Mercury. So intelligence, information, connections, community, really using, yeah, your mind, your information. This could be in relation to writing. It could be in relation to communications, to community organization, to community activation. Yeah, anything along those lines. It's like, keep at it. This is going great for you. Okay, let's just do a few tarot cards. Page of Wands. I do feel like this is something new for you, fresh for you. If not, something like a fresh sense is coming in here. If this doesn't feel like something new to you, something is going to start feeling new to you about this, which will feel really refreshing. The Emperor. Actually, yeah, I think that, I don't know, you may be coming into like a new role in the world, within your family or in the world, or both. It's like new order is coming in, a real freshening up here, and oppression, transformation. I think you've gone through a lot of transformation, whatever this is. Yeah, hang in there. You're doing a great job. You're really stepping up to the plate. You're starting to fill bigger shoes. Who you were before you really dedicated to this can't hold a candle to who you are becoming. It's really beautiful. Okay, let's get a message about something you maybe need some insight and help and guidance with. I don't want to necessarily say you're not doing a good job with it, but just something where there's a little bit more of a struggle, that the cards in the universe want to give you some insight, to really help you and bring some guidance for you. The Underworld. Okay. Let's get a little bit more about this. That could mean a lot of different things, so I don't want to quite make purpose. Okay, I know what I am here to do. So even though position may be going really well, and like keep reaching and focusing and mastering things, you still may be struggling to feel what your purpose is within that. Or just looking for even more beyond it. You know, that's actually what I feel like. It's like maybe you feel like you've got the position thing, but there's something a little more where you feel like you haven't fully come into understanding what your purpose is, beyond like position in the world. Maybe you want something more soulful, more for you, or more for, you know, people that you care for, that's not so outer world focused. And so you are right now down in the underworld, where some cycle you're in is trying to push you to make intrinsic goals versus extrinsic goals. I think you're doing great on the extrinsic goals, like the outer world goals. We've seen that's going great. But to really feel more deeply aligned with your purpose, it's time to make intrinsic goals. So like, instead of saying something like, I want to reach this kind of income or this kind of position in the world or finish this book, it's more like, I want to feel mentally at ease in my days, or I want to feel more loving towards myself and others during my days. Like these more inner kind of soulful goals, I think the universe is trying to help you to see this needs a little bit more attention at the moment, at least. Okay, let's get an astrology card. Jupiter. Yeah, this would be something by really paying attention to some intrinsic goals. It would be something that would bring you a lot of growth and fulfillment. It would bring you a lot of spiritual growth, more deeply connecting you with like a fulfillment around a sense of purpose in life, which would bring an influx in general and in a feeling of abundance, again, but in an intrinsic way, not in an extrinsic way, not in a like I'm making this amount of money or I have this debt paid off and can afford this kind of car or house. It's more like an abundance of feeling purpose, of feeling whatever your intrinsic goal is, love, connection, creativity, whatever it is for you. A lot of inner growth would happen by like focusing here. Let's see what planet wants to speak to this. Well, actually we have Jupiter, so let's I want to look at a sign. Let's look at a sign. Aries. Yeah, you'll feel more connected to yourself if you do this. You'll feel more energized, assertive, and clear about life by focusing on some intrinsic goals. Okay, let's do a few tarot cards. Four of Wands. Yeah, this is like a big key for you. Yeah. To feeling, and Knight of Cups. This is a huge key for you in terms of feeling more free in life. You may be a little bit overly chained to extrinsic things right now, position, career, aspirations, being the person that's responsible for things, whatever it is to you. And it's not saying like don't focus on those things or let up on those things. Like those are great, but how can you also focus inward and focus on how you want to feel? This is something that's going to free you. It's going to free your mind. It's going to free you to feel more aligned with yourself, more connected to yourself, more energized, more greater feelings of being able to feel those little moments to be celebrated. Instead of like, well, I hit this goal now to make the next goal. It will be like, it will kind of slow you down to really luxuriate in the beautiful things in your life and to feel life as a celebration. And it will really actually connect you to a much more creative, soulful aspect of you. You'll feel more fluid. You'll feel more inspired in general in your life by paying attention to this. Okay, last thing, let's look at something that is coming up that the cards want to make you aware of, kind of help get onto your radar. We're going to use a healing water card for the main, instruction card is still in there, for sort of the main aspect of the message. Lady of the Lake, beautiful, new beginnings. Something is about to happen. Well, I love that because this is like meant to tell you about something that's coming in. So yes, in general, something's about to happen, but whatever that is about to happen is something very new, very fresh, very, I feel enlivening. Okay, let's get a couple more cards. We've got the Mountain. Get one more card before I unpack the Mountain. Abundance. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So, something new coming in. Let's see, let's move your stone a little. Might as well get your astrology card before I unpack it too. I'm feeling a little bit, but I want to go further. 8th house mystery. Whoops. Okay. So I did feel like this was referring to that extrinsic part of you that's very coming in, you know, very much so coming into its mastery, doing a really great job and like position in the world. It's because of that something new is about to happen. And I feel like it's like someone wants to invest in you or entangle with you. This could be someone attracted to you for your stability, or it could be someone more in the business world that finds your capability attractive and wants to invest financially. So this could be love or business, whatever makes more sense to you. But somebody or something is wanting to entangle with you, either investing in you, or they find a very sexually strong attraction to your stability. Okay, let's get a planet, see what planet wants to speak here. Yeah, Pluto, which is the natural, 8th house is Pluto's natural house. So it's just confirming, really, it's not really adding anything here, but doubly confirming that something is very drawn to your stability and your mastery and is really eager to entangle. Okay, let's get some tarot cards to see a little more about this. Oops. 8 of Cups. So in terms of something new beginning, it means you have to walk away from something old. So the something new that's coming is requiring you to walk away from something old first. I feel like you need to do that first, and you need to make that decision, or that needs to happen. And at that point, I think very quickly the new thing will come in. Yeah, you're about to end a chapter. So maybe even though we saw that you're doing great with sort of like holding pressure and responsibility, maybe it's also, even though you've been doing great at it, maybe it's really kind of, you've come to an end of something. You kind of hit the wall with something. and you may need to be leaving that, but a different opportunity is coming that's a little bit more, has more wealth potential, investment potential. If this is more romantic to you, that same thing, like maybe there's been a relationship that's drained you, that's kind of used you a little bit for your stability, and you're kind of done with it. And something, when you allow yourself to be done with it, something more beautiful will come in. Four of Swords. So step back, do a little meditation. Yeah, just meditation in general will really help you to connect to what this is for you, to what you need to let go of, for your own well-being. And then just trust that by kind of really coming into clarity about what that is, that something new is going to come in very quickly to replace that. So, all right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope these messages were resonant and helpful. If so, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. I'm always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see ya. Hello, beautiful pile 2. Welcome to your reading where we're going to get 3 messages from the cards for you. First, we're going to start out with what it is that you are doing really well. So some encouragement and recognition of what it is you're doing really well with in your life right now. So you guys have the Malachite stone, which I'm just going to kind of put to the side here. And the initial card for this message is the Vision. So I feel like you have connected very, very well with your third eye, with really kind of having like trust in your inner knowing of what you should be doing. I want to get some more cards to understand a little bit more about what this has to do with. Okay, so patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So, yeah, interesting. I just feel like just a knowing and clarity that something is coming. A real deep trust in the universe is what I feel here. Really being in a co-creative, interdependent relationship with the universe, knowing, just like having this strong knowing of like what you want in life, what your goals are, trusting that if you put in effort towards those, that you can kind of let go and allow the universe to also sort of do its thing, and having a lot of trust and patience in the timing of these things to unfold. Yeah, which is really, really impressive and beautiful. A lot of times when we have goals, we kind of like push and push at them, right? But when we have goals, it's like a seed, and seeds unfurl in the time they unfurl. We can't make, plants grow faster than they can. We can't pull at them. And I think, yeah, you just, in terms of your visions, you have that trust that like, well, I've planted the seed and now the universe is helping that seed as long as I also tend to it. And I just trust, yeah, that these things take time. And then we have Vesta with Hearth. Oh, there's another card under here. South Node Past. Let's move these all over so we can fit that. I always feel like Vesta has so much to do with really being connected to our inner flame. our inner knowings, inner flame. So very similar to, I mean, a little different, but can kind of speak a little more to vision, really trusting what's inside of us. This is more of like this is like having the seed, the vision, the goal, and then this is the tending to it, really trusting that your efforts to keep it nourished go a long way. So that's you putting your effort in, and then you also trusting the universe is putting its effort in as, you know, the soils it's in. And then South Node with past, this has to do with like things you've already developed in past lives. You're taking advantage of things you already have skills in, things that come naturally to you, and making the best of them, really utilizing and yeah, making things of yourself through things that you're naturally already great at. Let's see what planet might be involved in this. Pluto. So I feel in this, it's a sense of empowerment and whatever that means to you, having resources, having, you know, investment, just knowing what your power is in general, knowing how to hold your power, how to feel empowered. It doesn't have to be a resource or a finance thing, or a, you know, this can also be a sexual thing, but I feel more generally it's just about feeling empowered. So the visions, the goals and seeds you lay and that you tend to, and that you're already naturally predisposed to have, you know, some skill in, are all things that are helping to empower your life, and you're doing a great job of cultivating those and putting them to work for you. Like, why shouldn't we use things that come natural to us to empower us? So like, yeah, why not? Great. But beyond that, just this deep trust in the universe to have your back with it. Okay, let's do a few tarot cards to go a little deeper. 5 of Wands. Two of Wands. Yeah. 2 of Swords. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is showing that you take the time to make plans and strategies with your goals. You sort of put the effort in to get really aligned and clear about your direction. And you make very clear, reasoned, logical decisions. So all these things are really enhancing what's going on up here. So really beautiful. Okay, let's look at the next message, which is going to have to do with what you maybe need a little insight and guidance and help with. So not necessarily opposite of this, where this is sort of like, great job, you're doing a good job. It's not necessarily saying you're not doing a good job. It's just saying like, yeah, there's just, you know, we all have little things in our lives that we need a little, you know, more guidance with, a little extra help with, and that's beautiful, and we should accept help. Okay, so we've got the empty room. I don't know if there's some like category of your life that you maybe feel is like in a black hole right now, like nothing's happening. Envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. And I think that's a really wise thing for the cards to bring through, is like everyone at every moment has an aspect of their life that's not ideal, that's not doing as well as the other people around them. And so whatever it is for you that you feel envious of someone else, just know that whoever you're envious of has a different aspect of their life that maybe they're envious of you about. And so it's just not a really useful thing to compare. Instead of looking at like, oh, how much they have and what's going on with them in this area and nothing's happening to me, just focus, like shutting out what the other has, but just focusing on, okay, this aspect of my life is empty right now, but that means there's a blank canvas. And so what do I want to paint there? What do I want to fill this room with? Can actually be a gift. So I think it's sort of like turning your perception around about this. Neptune vision. Something's incubating. It's maybe some aspect of your life has been dissolving a little bit. And so it feels a little chaotic and a little nebulous, and maybe you have moments of inspiration of something in this empty space, but it slips away, and it's sort of this ebb and flow of like not ever quite being able to grasp something to, you know, because you have that vision, that ability to create goals and manifest here. It's like there's something nebulous in this room. And this is about a part of a natural life cycle. Something's ending, and you have to let, just like the caterpillar going into its chrysalis to become a butterfly, that in-between point, that liminal space in the cocoon, it turns to jelly basically. It has no concept that it's about to turn into a butterfly. It's just letting go. And so here I think what the advice is like, you just need to let go because something is incubating. So stop trying to force clarity. You won't find clarity right now. So just sort of surrender. Let whatever's further emptying from the room empty, and let different inspirations come and go. And just sort of enjoy that blank canvas and imagine all sorts of different things to fill that room, but don't get like determined or fixated. Just kind of let those things come and go. It's all incubating something, and that adds to the incubation process, but just, you know, be ethereal about it. Don't try to hold anything. I actually wanted to roll a house with this because of a room. That's like the houses in astrology to me. So sorry, ignore that other dice. I can't even remember what came up anyway. Okay, so which room in your astrology chart is feeling this way? 9th house. So like exploration, foreign travel, different philosophies, your perspective about things, how you connect to story and narrative, how you feel your life is expanding, how you are pushing your boundaries. May feel just like a little bit off right now, like you can't quite find any footing, but it's okay. Just relax into that because there are actually things happening. It's gonna be, you know, I want to say months. I'm gonna roll a dice about months for this. It's gonna be 10 months. Sorry, that is a long time, but you know, give it the majority of the year from when you see this for things to just kind of settle, relax, be empty, and imagine how you could fill that emptiness in so many variety of ways. Use it as a gift to imagine all sorts of things. Okay, a couple of tarot cards. I feel like this one's 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 9 of crystals. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's time for you to honestly, such a stupid word, but it's what came into my head. It's time for you to chillax about this. Don't, again, and I love 7 of Swords coming under envy, don't look at what's filling everybody else's room in this regard. Don't pay attention to that. You need to turn your back on that and just focus inward. Focus on potential, possibility, inspiration. And again, just kind of let that ebb and flow, come and go. It's all, you know, adding little bits and pieces of things, but it takes time to be an incubation. And so while also needing to kind of not pay attention to all of the bounteous things other people have in this aspect of their life, you also need to know that nothing's going to pass you by. There's no need to be defensive about this, to try and position yourself with this. Let go of that. What is meant to fill this room for you will come. It's not going to pass you by. It just won't. So relax about it all, because what is incubating is something so beautiful. So much more trust in a sustainable life, in life being filled with certain skill and ability in this room, that could make you more independent, more self-sufficient. And it's interesting, Orion, the constellation Orion, well, kind of. It's like an abstract Orion, is it's big. Whatever is incubating is going to be big. It's going to feel beautiful. It's going to make you feel beautiful. It's going to add to your lifestyle in a really beautiful way, in a very sustainable way. And it will bring a certain self-sufficiency and independence to your life when it does come. So just a little bit of pep talk from the universe about, you know, even though it can't say exactly what that is, it's just like, that's how it will feel. So, okay, that's where we're going to leave this part. Now let's get our third and final message, which is all about something that is up around the corner that the cards want to give you a little glimpse in, help you to bring awareness to this as coming in, so to be on the lookout. And my intention is this is something very soon, something within the next week to 3 weeks. So the ripple effect, part of something bigger, details are taken care of. Beautiful. So something was already done, whether it was by you or something or someone else, and you are in the path of the ripple effect of that. And it's something that is bigger than you, which makes me think it's like something else or someone else has done something that is kind of connected to a bigger world thing. And you're in the path of its ripple effect. But I think it's going to be beautiful. I don't think this is like caution. It's like you're going to be swept up into something that's bigger than you. And I mean, we'll see what the cards say, but I feel it is beautiful. Fear, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. think you can sense this coming. Maybe you've already seen people or things that have been swept up into the ripple effect. And so you kind of sense naturally that it's going to reach you for some reason, and it might bring you some fear. I don't know why. What is this around? Let's see if this archetype card can clarify anything. The venom. That's like a picture of the earth, almost like, I don't know if I'm just reading this abstractly, but it looks like it's being swallowed by like a wolf mouth or something. Which makes me feel like this is some big outer world thing. So I don't know what big outer world thing has you concerned right now and is bringing you some fear maybe about the state of the world. And whatever that thing is, its ripple effect is about to hit you, but I think when it hits you, it's like you're gonna then do something purposeful with it. You're gonna take action with it, be kind of an activist. Like it feels like activist. Yep, Uranus change. This feels like activist energy. So you're gonna be activated. There's some big outer world thing causing ripples. I think you've already seen how it is affecting others. I mean, there's a lot of difficult things going on in the world, so this feels somewhat connected to that. But when you feel that ripple effect hit you personally, you're going to activate and rise up to kind of join causes, join movements, join efforts. There's something about to sweep you up in that regard. Okay, so let's get some tarot around this. So kind of like a broad, it's not a very personal energy, but it is going to personally affect your life because it seems like it's activating you to be an activator. Page of Swords, yeah. You are definitely going to feel sort of like newly charged to put your thoughts and ideas and sense of justice into the world. Queen of Wands. Use your creativity with whatever this is. How can you bring others to support your cause by being sort of a creative leader? With some kind, like honey being sweeter than vinegar here. Like, how can you entice people into your cause by making it feel beautiful and ethereal and creative and exciting? Temperance. Ooh, you can really play a big role in this. You're someone that really knows how to balance worlds, how to bring worlds together. So you can really step into this when this ripple sweeps you up. Trust that you have really powerful energy and that you can really step into some kind of role here if you want. Not just like simply going and marching for something, but like you could really, I don't know, create your own ripple effect with this. But really in a way that knows how to bring people together rather than just shouting, right? Something here of like really knowing how to use your creativity and your command to bring things together. Things that feel very, not even at odds, but just so different that how do they mix, right? But you have a certain knowing of how to do that. So trust your potency here. It's big. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this reading was insightful and helpful. If so, I always appreciate the things like share, subscribe. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And yeah, but just grateful you're here. I love doing readings, so thank you for letting me read for you. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading where we are getting a few messages from the cards for you. So first is going to be a message about something that wants to sort of give you recognition around that you are doing a really great job in. Then we will look at something you maybe need a little bit of guidance and help with, and then we will get a message about something that is about to come into your life, that it wants to bring you a little heads up or some a peek, into the future with. So to start, we are looking at something that the cards want to give you recognition for doing a really great job in. And your first card is the Threshold. So this feels like maybe you have just newly started something, really stepped into some kind of different world in some aspect of your life, that the cards want to tell you that you're doing something, doing a great job in terms of moving forward. And I don't know, we'll see what the cards say. Maybe enjoying, moving forward, engaging with the threshold. Let's see. Got denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So maybe you're doing a really great job of moving forward in something new that is a little scary. Because, anything that is new is always going to be a little bit filled with both fear and excitement. But I feel like the cards are saying that you are moving with like a really beautiful awareness, not just kind of like charging through. There can also be like a lot of impulse at new thresholds. Kind of a carried awayness. And I feel like this is saying you're doing a great job of just like taking your time, taking it in, being really aware of what's around you, what's in front of you, what you've just come from, and acknowledging things that may scare you a little, which help you to be more aware, right? It's not always a bad thing to have fear. It keeps us safe. So maybe there is something about the fact that you feel fear because you should, because maybe there's things that you need some awareness in order to keep yourself really safe for some reason. Okay, let's get an astrology card, see if we can figure out more about what this is talking about. Conjunction with alliance. It could be like new teamwork, new community. Yeah, it could be that like you're really needing to understand, just a potential example that is probably not anyone's actual example, but like maybe you are in a new workplace and you're sort of taking your time to prove yourself because you really want to understand the character of all the different people that you're around, so you can know who to trust, who to keep boundaries with. So instead of like charging in and just trying to prove yourself, you're like being very smart about this. And instead of like charging in and shaking things up that might step on toes or might allow yourself to be taken advantage of or this or that, you're like, I'm gonna tiptoe into this so I can really understand the lay of the land here. So I know what I'm getting into, so I know that I'm making informed decisions and informed actions, and figuring out the best way to work with this environment and who to align myself with. So that's just an example that comes to mind, but I'm sure it's a little different for each of you. I actually, so I've been rolling an Astro dice for each message, and I have to choose from either like which category of life, a planet associated, or an energy. And for this, I really want to know which category of life this has to do with. So let's see. 7. So relationships, trust. So this could be about committing, like more deeply committing in a love relationship. It could be about hiring an agent, a manager, an attorney, somewhere where there's like a lot of trust needed and a lot of alliance needed, and you're kind of like putting in some due diligence to really understand their character before you fully commit. Maybe that's what it is, because there's something new about this. It's a threshold. Maybe that commitment has to do with something you're not familiar with. Like maybe you need to hire an agent for something, like you're selling your house, or you are a writer, agents can be for all sorts of things. So maybe you're doing something new you've never done and you need to hire an agent, and you're, really taking your time to make sure that the alliance you bring in is right for you. So I think very wise energy. Okay, let's get some tarot cards about this. The Star. Ooh, I love that. 5 of Crystals. Okay. And 9 of Wands. You do have, even if this threshold and this alliance are something somewhat new to you, it doesn't mean that you can't pull from other experiences in life that could apply. And I do think you have wisdom and, excuse me, different experiences you can pull from that do apply, and that you should be reflecting on and pulling from wisdom that you have. And this is about what you're already doing well. So this maybe is a confirmation that the things you're applying from your wisdom are good to apply. This feels very new hope, new future, new something, moving you away from maybe in the past you haven't had great alliances around whatever this means to you, whether it's love or business or something else. And so there's some fear there, but you're doing a really good job of getting over that, of putting to bed some old mentalities, some old lack mentalities here. A new bright future is truly on the way for you in this. You're doing a great job, and it is bringing in a lot of new hope and potential. So yeah, gorgeous. All right, let's move to the next message, which is, what is it that you could use a little bit of help and guidance in, a little insight from the cards? Or wait. Oh no, this... Oh yeah, sorry. I'm getting confused with some of my readings. Okay, so next message. Something you need, wrong deck. A little bit of help, insight, and guidance from the cards around the Vessel. I feel like this is how to treat yourself. How are you treating yourself? Both in terms of your physical body, but also in terms of just self-love and nourishment. There's maybe some things you have some blind spots with around this, or that cards want to help you to tune into a little better. balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Yeah, I mean, this feels pretty obvious to me. It's like you're needing a little bit more balance in your day-to-day in order to feel a little bit more health and wellness in your body. Like, I think you might be overtaxing yourself a little bit, overdoing something, and it's like maybe your body is starting to tell you. There may be little physical symptoms starting to appear that might be trying to communicate that you need a little bit more balance in your life. Transits. Okay, so yeah, I think this is the insight that is wanting to be brought here is I think there's more on your plate than usual. This is a transitory thing. So whatever is going on right now that maybe you feel is throwing you off balance and it's taxing your body, it's not a forever thing. This is something that's going to come and go. But maybe just set that intention that like you won't overdo it in the future. So that when heavy transits come, because they do come, you won't be in this situation again where it's just like too much. But if you're in a much more balanced place with what you place on your body and tax your energy with, when those transits come that kind of amp up activity, you can kind of handle it because you've been in like a very stable place. Let's see what planet wants to speak to this. Yeah, Mercury, all about busy, too much. So just like a blind spot here, like you don't need to be doing so much. You don't need to agree to so much, take on so much, connect so much. It's not great for your balance. And when we move from ebb into flow and a lot's happening, it really taxes you. So weeding out what's not necessary is something that the cards want to bring to your attention. Let's get a few tarot. Because it's like, I think in general you can probably deal with the amount you put on your plate, but it isn't so balanced, and when those big flow moments come, it's just too much. And the flow moments come, those are regular. They're not, even though they go, they come again. And that's something you need to like be more thoughtful about and aware about, that you need to make space for those flow moments. Okay, so we got Page of Cups, Queen of Crystals. Yeah, I just feel like you like to be engaged, you like to be helpful, you like to feel strong, I think you're a very giving person. You want to be like everything for everyone and appear strong and appear youth. And I do think that you are youthful. Usually people that do this kind of thing are very youthful. So you do have a lot of energy. It's just that you're not accounting for those flow times. And so if you can account for that, as that could happen at any moment, you may do a better job of like making your life a little bit more balanced. So just a little blind spot stuff for you. Okay, let's look at your last message, which has to do with something that is upcoming in the next week to 3 weeks that the cards would like to bring awareness to, give you a little heads up about, a little peek into. Let it rain, allowing what is, inevitability, and trust. Okay. This feels like letting go, shedding rain. It's like shedding some heaviness, like clouds letting go. They become too heavy and they let their rain out. That feels like the same thing as crying, like something that's too heavy and you just have to have a good cry, let it out. Something like that coming up. So maybe not like a really big event message, but just sort of making you aware you might need to like create some space in your days coming up to just kind of let some things out of you, out of your life, out of you, off of you. The healer, yeah. You're about to go through a little bit of a healing purge, is what I feel like. I think very needed. I think it feels very connected to what we just talked about with the thing you needed guidance around. It's maybe too much. Or it could be something totally different. Maybe there's some, well, let's get some more cards. We'll get a little more specific. Surrender. I release my need to control. Okay, let's get the astrology card. I want to know what this has to do with. Progression journey. Oh, a big shift is coming up in your progressed astrology chart. That's like how our chart moves one day forward in time based on our birthday for every year of our life, and it can indicate big journeys that we're going through. So I think maybe a big shift is happening, like maybe your progressed sun is shifting into a new sign or something, and so it's like time to kind of let go of that old cycle. And if it is that, well, let's roll an astrology dice. Which planet does this have to do with? Neptune. Whoa, that's crazy. That's a really slow planet. It usually doesn't, in a progressed chart, do hardly anything. Maybe it's moving houses, though. That is something that would happen. Shifting to a different house. So how you connect to inspiration, art, mysticism, surrender is a Neptunian word. Healing is a Neptunian thing, is shifting. My thought is to a different house, because it doesn't move degrees really almost at all in a progressed chart. Let's see what house it's moving into. 12th house. I mean, it would be hard to imagine everyone seeing this reading that would be the case. And 12th is Neptune. I feel like that's just confirming Neptune, because 12th house and Neptune have it's just something's going on with your Neptune in your progressed chart. Maybe another planet's going over it. Your progressed moon could be. But yeah, I mean, there's several different things. It could be moving houses. A planet could be going over it. I don't know if you were born with Neptune at 29 degrees and 30 seconds or something, it could be changing signs. But regardless, a big shift is coming up with your Neptune. So a different way of healing, a different focus on what you're healing, what you're surrendering to, where you find an artistic quality in your life, what inspires you. Something's shifting in that. That's a pretty big shift. Okay, let's get some tarot with that. 6 of Swords. It will move you to calmer shores. That's nice. Maybe it will heal. It's it's a planet that can do a lot of healing. So maybe whatever the shift is or whatever's happening is bringing some healing to something that's been a bit tumultuous, and it's bringing you to calmer shores. Connecting you better to your higher self as well. Gorgeous. maybe bringing you more connection, more sense of belonging as well. That could be something that's healing. We're going to start healing. Queen of Swords. I feel like this is putting you into a new art, like illuminating and bringing forward the Queen of Swords archetype within you in like a new way. Which is interesting for Neptune, but I won't question it. Yeah, because Queens and Neptune could work. Swords and Neptune, so it might have to do with like a planet that would be connected to the swords, or a sign, or a house that could be connected to mind, you know? So something healing maybe in your sense of the, like a nourished and refined and commanding mind that's allowing you to be more present in your kind of like a more nourished mentality, a more nourished command of your mind, and a sense of justice too. Yeah, so pretty big shift coming in very soon for you guys. But as you move from one phase to a different, I think that old phase, you're just like letting that old phase needs to wash out of you. It's the end of a phase has a Neptunian quality to it, where it does sort of rain out and, you know, surrender to things happen. So it's like a double layer here. So letting go of an old Neptune cycle and bringing in a new Neptune cycle, and it really bringing some healing to something that's going to have calmer waters, really connecting you to a greater sense of belonging within you as well as in your external world, and really helping you to step into a much more sort of like nourished command of your mind, and being able to bring some sort of like reason and logic to your emotions as well. Okay, that is where I'm going to leave you. So I hope this reading resonated and was helpful. If so, I always appreciate support with likes and shares and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments, and definitely, just thank you for being here and letting me read for you. And I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. See you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, where we are getting some messages from the cards for you. 3 specific messages. The first one we will look at is just sort of like a well done from the cards, wanting to give recognition to you around something you are doing really well right now, and kind of like, in a way, a bit of a pep talk, like keep going, you're on the right track, you're doing great kind of thing. So the card you chose is the first card for that particular message. There will be 2 other messages we'll do after that. So the unseen is the card that is coming up for you for this. So that could be something about using your intuition, being tuned into your subtle senses, being just tuned into the the etheric realm, the subtle realm. There's something that you're doing really well around perceiving that's not, very concrete. So let's get a little bit more info about this. A few more cards here. See, we also have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Interesting. Let's get an Astro card to go along with this. And attention. semi-square, square, quincunx. Okay. This is very interesting and mysterious. You may already have an idea of what this is for you. I'm going to try and channel a couple of ideas here. Really feeling into sometimes we can be if we're sitting in some empathy and having an awareness of others, we can sense in a more subtle way, like through body language and through just the way people are carrying themselves, if there's certain tensions being held by people. And I don't know why I'm getting because attention could be inside, it could be around a lot of things. It doesn't have to be between a person, but for some reason that's what came out. And that doesn't necessarily have to be attention between you and someone else. It's sort of like that ability to walk into a room and sense where there are like behind the scene dramas playing out. You can kind of sense who's avoiding who's chasing someone, like when you're hypersensitive, those types of things can be felt. I don't know why I keep getting this image of like walking into like a party or something and really having like this immediate understanding of all sorts of things going on and where people are holding regret. And I don't know, this is so weird because I don't exactly know where this is coming in through the cards, but it's just sort of what's coming through me is like this deep ability to not necessarily build bridges between people, but to ease people's tensions, ease people's, where, sensing somewhere where someone may feel a tension or a regret or a disappointment or something, and just like having this energy that just senses it just picks up on it, and being able to, without even like confronting it in the person, just having this calming, healing presence on people. That's what I'm feeling about this, is this thing. And so you may not have any idea, because these are the kinds of things that we never get feedback on from others. It's like one of those things that maybe like 5 years later, someone's like, I don't know if you remember such and such party, but I was having such a hard time and you came up and you were really kind to me, and it just like shifted things for me. And I was able to kind of wake up the next morning and feel and think differently. That's what I feel here. And so it's like this unseen quality isn't something that ever is like appreciated in the moment. And so I feel like that's why the cards are wanting to kind of give you a good on you and keep it up and some recognition, because it is stuff that's unseen. It is stuff that goes unappreciated in the moment or in the close future, but it's stuff that impacts people greatly and deeply. So it's just saying, like, continue being sort of that kind presence is what I feel like. It does way, way more than you can see, that you can sense. The way you see the unseen and the way you hold that and carry yourself around it does other things that are hard for you to see. So unseen has a little bit of a layered context I'm feeling here. Let's see what planet might be involved in this too. Uranus. Ooh, you kind of awaken people to their true selves to be able to, I do sense that like calm, beautiful, empathetic quality, but there's also this lightning touch that you have, that you kind of electrify people and you wake them up to their own individuality, their own originality, individuality. You bring awakenings to people. You might wake them up to certain things. And I don't think you have, like, honestly, I don't think you have a great sense that you do this. But you really shake people out of it. You really bring people out of things, wake them up to what they should be focusing on and what's in their future and what's ahead of them. And it's not even like that you're trying to do it. It's just something about your presence. Maybe it's something you model, the way you hold yourself. Yeah. Okay, let's get a few tarot cards to see if we can get a little bit more about this. Very interesting. Yeah, that took me a minute to kind of feel into what was happening with this one. 5 of Cups. Yeah, you help people move on. I think you can help people just with your presence, not even by like talking about it, but just by being you. I think there's something about your presence that wakes people up to what they're holding on to that's no longer, that's already got, like holding on to things that are already past, that, and shaking them awake, like, but there is a future, but there are things you should be looking at. It's like just soft enough and just exciting enough, like you hold that tension within you, just soft enough and just exciting enough to be a soft place for people and a safe place for people to sense what's done, but exciting enough to kind of shake them awake to what's in the future. Yeah, very interesting. The Empress. Yeah, you hold an energy of potentiality, of fertility, of creation being endless. And I think people tap into that and it excites them. It's soft and exciting. It's fertile and beautiful and nourishing, but also thrilling. And I think because you hold that energy, just being around you really charges people and gets them to kind of like move on from things. Yeah. And then we've got 3 of crystals. So yeah, you're kind of like a team player. You know how to collaborate. You know how to get things working and moving. And you can see the pragmatism in things. You can see the reality of things and the pragmatism of things. And it's a very productive energy. It's a very collaborative energy. And it's a very, again, nourishing and electrifying energy. So it's beautiful. I don't think this gets reflected to you very well. And so the cards are wanting to recognize you and just, let you know this is a very beautiful quality you have. Don't change that. You probably know you do this on some level. It's just that you don't get the appreciation for it that you're due until like like I said in that example, like maybe like 5 years later, someone says this, or months later, or, just like way past the fact. But in the moment, yeah. So, that's what that is. Message of kind of good job. You're doing really beautiful things in this aspect of your life, and especially right now in some way. When this comes out, of course, you can see this whenever you come to it, but when this comes out, we will have just come through holiday season. So it's possible you've been at some holiday functions or parties, and you may have really impacted someone there in a way that you didn't realize, but in a way that they deeply, deeply needed. So yeah, that's just something else that kind of came through right now. Okay, let's look at the next message. This is something that you may need a little help, extra guidance in. It's not quite opposite of your first message. It's not, you know, the first message was like, what are you doing really well in right now? It's not the opposite of this in terms of like, you're not doing well at this at all. It's a little softer than that. It's just like, you know, we all have areas that are in blind spots or parts of our life that aren't going as well or that have been neglected. And this is just Spirit and the cards coming in to give you a little bit of insight and guidance around something you could use a little boost in. Okay, the Sword. Interesting. That could be about several things. So let's get couple more cards to see. Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And we do, it's interesting with this Sword, it does look like kind of like a lightning strike going through there, which to me can bring sort of like those awakenings of awareness and leveling up in consciousness in some way. And there's even, it's not like the yin yang symbol, but there is that element of like yin and yang here. To me, that feels like the double-edged sword. Let's get another card. See if we can tease out a little bit more about this. Cutting through something in order to kind of wake up. Aries act. Yeah, that feels like the Sword, something you need to take a stand in, take action around that will help to cut something dark out of your life so that you can flip your energy. That's what it feels like. There's something you need to cut out of your life in order to grow, and this is like saying take action on that now. You may know immediately what that is as I bring it up, but I do want to roll in the astrology dice. I'm going to roll the house dice to figure out a category of life that this pertains to for you guys. 11th house. Oh, okay. Well, to me, this isn't so much the 11th house as it is like, I also look at that 12 signs, 12 houses of astrology as sort of like progressions or life cycles, and like the 11th phase of a life cycle is sort of like when things crack, when something cracks, when it's no longer, when something's no longer big enough to hold your energy. You've kind of grown out of something, and it's like the seed cracking out of its, the material in a seed cracking out of its shell. And that shell can be sort of like the normal world, the old established world. It was made from what came before it, from the tree before it or the plant before it. But then when it cracks open, it's having its own new growth and its own journey starting. And that's what it feels like here. It's time to like break out of an old mold. You're ready to grow in new ways. And with Aries, that might have to do with your own sense of self, like a really, really core thing to you. Which is interesting because when I'm doing this reading, Aries has the North Node just barely having moved into it. So a lot of seeds we've planted in Aries are kind of in the previous year, the last Aries new moon seeds we planted were ones that are starting to kind of close out a cycle and move into that incubation and cracking open to new potentialities, new impulses, ready for new growth. So yeah, core sense of self, what you are passionate about, where you find your centering, how you understand your personality even. There's shifting taking here, but there's things that you need to let go of about who you thought you were. There's things that are brittle and stale and that are no longer you, that are already kind of cracking and shedding off of you. So just like let that happen is what I feel. Let the old go, make room for the new. Whatever's already just trying to leave anyway, it's time to let it leave. So there may be things you're still trying to like hold on to that are clearly trying to leave your life, is what I feel like. And in a sense, everyone's going through this. So what I'm talking about. But for you, maybe you have Aries planets or, a sun, a moon, a rising sign, a Mercury, a Venus, any personal planets, Mars. One of those may be in Aries for you, and so it's really impacting you, or Aries may be on one of your angles, so your 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th house. If you know astrology, if you don't worry about that. But yeah, something about your sense of self is really ready to shed and sort of rebirth. So yeah, okay, let's get a few tarot cards to unpack this. The World. To me, this feels like leaving the old world, leaving your, like in the hero's journey, the normal world behind. It's time to go on a new journey and to leave your old world behind in some sense. And kind of, obviously metaphorically, 3 of Cups. This could have to do with community, soul tribe. So the people you keep nearest and dearest, it may have something to do with that, or what family or home means to you. And the Sun. Yeah, I feel like we may have quite a few Aries Sun people here, but don't worry if you're not. But in general, that's just like new growth, new energy, new vitality starting to come out, but be patient. The more you can clear what's already trying to leave, the more you will create space for that new growth, for new things, new potential, new impulse, new envisioning of the future, of a different world. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling here. These things take time, though. To me, this is just like, and that Aries energy is kind of like the rebirth moment. It has a bit of an infancy to it. It's very exciting, but it is new. It's kind of a beginner. And so it has this impulse, it has this want to create new order, out with the old, in with the new. But just like an infant who's like learning to walk, it's going to fall a lot. But there's resilience there, and you'll keep getting back up, and you'll keep going until you learn to walk. And so this is sort of like, don't be bothered by the falls. Don't be bothered by the failures. That's not the point of what this new initiation is about. The new initiation is about connecting you to a new sense of passion and center and clarity. That more established kind of feet under you will come. Don't worry about that. Worry about connecting to your impulse, your light, your passion. That's what this is about, because a new sense of passion is trying to come in, but you need to clear some old stuff out. Okay, that's where we're going to leave this message. Let's go on to the last message. And this message is going to be around something that is very close in your future that the cards just want to give you a heads up about. So a little peek, a little heads up, just something upcoming. And these have varied a lot for each pile, so we'll just see what comes through here. Oh, I added in a deck for this particular one. Isle of Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation. Beautiful. Look how well that matches this agave plant. Or aloe plant, not agave. The stone and the plant and this card are like crazy in sync. This to me is like this feels like it's in conversation with the message we just left. Like, you're right on the cusp of just kind of letting go, of surrendering and relaxing and seeing new layers of yourself starting to unfold, and the beauty of how aligned and cohesive and synergetic that feels, and just kind of incubating in it. Just being in it, enjoying just being in a certain new sense of yourself unfolding, not trying to rush it or define it, but just kind of being, allowing yourself to kind of meld into the environment, because the environment is holding like new vibrations of yours that are very very fresh, very kind of in fetus states. So it's like, I think this sense is coming into you in the next few weeks of just like how to relax into what's going and what's coming, and just kind of being in a liminal space where there's healing and new inspiration coming through for you. So really beautiful to see, and I love that kind of is an extension of what we just saw about what you need help with, and seeing that in the coming weeks, like, you're actually really getting there. So I feel like a lot of this is kind of a pep talk, like you're almost to this place of just relaxing into the liminal, and feeling good about that, not needing to understand it or push, or just this ability coming over you of being able to just kind of let go. Just kind of being it, making your life feel quite sacred and special and protected, to this direct line to the divine and to the cosmic and to the spiritual. Just a really kind of sacred energy is about to come in, and you're going to want to protect that. You're going to want to revel in the liminal and protect it, and just be there. So that's beautiful to see. And then grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So there could be, like we've talked about, you're ending some kind of cycle, but that new cycle is already incubating. And allowing yourself to not necessarily try to hold on to something that's going, but allowing yourself to feel it, to feel the grief, and to feel then how much you appreciated what is kind of phasing out of this cycle, and reflect on it and be grateful for it and honor it in some way. Really beautiful. Okay, let's get a last card for the top row. Sagittarius with expand. I think one thing that will help you to let go and help you to really touch into the divine of this timing is to explore, is to open your mind, your boundaries, expose yourself to things that are unfamiliar, really push the way you are perceiving your life, your circumstances, your environment, which will really help to change your perspectives. There may be new philosophies coming through. You know, in this very spiritual space, we do get exposed to different kinds of consciousness. So you may have certain awakenings that really shift your perspective on life, that make you feel a little bit more not religious in a religion sense, but religious in finding things and beliefs that feel aligned to you and valuable to you. So there's something broadening in you through this kind of liminal let go. Okay, let's get a few. So Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is where you can take action, where you can kind of push yourself, is ideas, cultures, stories, beliefs that you expose yourself to. Really open up your mind and be active and assertive about the kinds of perspectives you are absorbing. Shake it up a little bit, for sure. Starseed, yeah, you're already like feeling a lot of hope about what's to come. But I think you're going to very soon just be dropping into but it is an incubation phase. I don't need to define things and make these grand plans, but I do need to keep an open mind. I need to envision what could be in really fantastical, electric ways, just to shake up my mind, just to shake up my understandings of life in general. Just really get out of the box and feel the excitement of being outside of the box, just for the sake of being outside of the box and really seeing things differently. King of Swords, look at that, Knight of Swords and King of Swords. This will lead to a lot more confidence and, oh sorry, we can't see these completely. Move everything up. Doing this kind of work we've talked about will lead you to having a lot more clarity and confidence about letting go and thinking about a very different future and a very different you. And if there are specific things that came to mind that feel like are shedding from your life, then like more confidence about a future in that category of life. You know, like an example would be like if you feel like your career is falling apart, by kind of like this energy really settling into you and you being able to kind of be in the liminal and enjoy the liminal and open up and expand. You'll come out of that with a new clarity and confidence of different direction and a different sense of self and a different kind of mentality that really solidifies into you. Because, you know, we all have past experiences that can be applied to, you know, new things in our life or different things in our life. And I think there's probably a lot of that can start taking place soon, like in the next year and a half, where you can start applying certain mastery that you already have, but to something totally new, something way more out of the box than where you've been, or at least more free, a more sense of you being free and more you than you've been. Yeah, so that, let's see, should we do an Astro dice for any of this? I don't know if I want to. I don't want to peg this into a category or a house because I feel like there may be a lot of people at this one. We already have Sagittarius. We saw Aries in the last one. Maybe we could do a planet. What planet wants to bring a message about this? South Node. Yeah, karma. Certain things you're letting go. That's just confirming. That's nothing new. That's no new information, but just like a confirmation that like you're in the process of letting go of things, of facing things that have already taken place. And by facing those things, the karma is expelled for good and difficult. You see the shadows, you see how it's affected your life and others' lives, and it's just sort of by surrendering to seeing that you're able, that it's able to kind of dispel. And yeah, so it's just adding in a confirmation that that's, you know, part of this cycle you're in right now. So for those of you that came to this pile, that the eclipses over the next year are going to be really important for you. They're really going to bring different like changes, endings and beginnings and shakeups for you, especially the ones that happen around March, April, and like October, September, October. Yeah, okay, so that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this was helpful. If so, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe. Always really grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. But in general, just gratitude for all of you that came to this reading and stayed and got something out of this, because I just really enjoy doing readings. So thank you for letting me read for you. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys.